Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is not about Azure. Today we are going to do something completely different. We are going to increase the watch hours of a channel by opening several browsers simultaneously and playing videos. And we are going to do that in Python using Selenium and multiprocessing. But what is Selenium in the first place? Selenium is an open source automation testing tool that supports a number of languages like Python, Java, JavaScript, etc., depending on the application, of course. It's mainly testers that use Selenium, but developers too. And as data engineers, we can use Selenium to scrape data from websites as well. In this video, we are going to emulate the same actions we would have performed ourselves by opening several browsers and playing multiple videos of our channel at the same time. This way, we can increase the watch hours of a channel while we sleep at night, which is kind of cool if you ask me. Let me preface this video by saying I'm doing this for educational purposes only. As developers, we like to tinker with code and build things. However, this code is not intended to be used as a bot. Now, without further ado, let's move into the example. Before we start coding, we need to know what steps we need to follow on the browser. I'm using Chrome and I have opened Chrome on a guest mode. I'm going to paste our channel's URL, main URL. But before we proceed, we have to accept all the cookies, right? We click on accept all. And here is our main page of our channel, right? We have uploaded 32 videos. The first thing we need to do is to retrieve the links that point to all those videos. So we would have a list of 32 links for those videos. The next step would be to open several different browsers for each individual video and play the video. Let's emulate all the steps we are going to do. Click on the video here. As you can see, there is always an ad before the video starts, and after a few seconds you will see usually there is a skip ads button, not always, but here you can see you can click on the skip ad, right? Click on that and then the video starts. But when you play a video in the background, you don't want any noise. So the next thing we need to do here is click on the mute button. And once the video is done playing and reaches, you reach at the end of the video, you will see a replay button, like here you see the replay button. So we are going to click on that and the video will start playing again because we want to play, to make it play again and again. These are the steps we need to emulate using Python and Selenium. I have already prepared a template with the imports that we would need for this example and also the HTML elements and paths that Selenium needs to use in order to find the HTML elements and click on them. For example, if you right-click and click on Inspect, you will see all this HTML code. If you click here and then click on the mute button, you will see this is a button with this class and this title and this area label. We need to specify a path. There are several ways to do that. You can use the class name, you can use the XPath, you can use the area label, and Selenium is going to locate this HTML element and it's going to click on that element. This is how Selenium emulates our web browsing journey. In our VS Code, I have already prepared the imports that we need. We have to pip install multiprocess and pip install Selenium. If you haven't done it, open a command line, type pip install multiprocess and then pip install Selenium to actually install all the libraries and the dependencies that we need for this example. We import the multiprocessing module, and from Selenium we have to import the WebDriver, the service, which is a service class that is responsible for the starting and stopping the Chrome driver. Then we have to import the Chrome driver manager, the by, the WebDriver wait, which actually is an explicit wait, like time slip in a way. And an explicit wait is a code you define to wait for a certain condition to occur before proceeding further in the code. We need to use the expected conditions. Selenium provides some convenience methods, so we don't have to code all those classes ourselves. For example, you have to check, it's better actually to check whether an element is visible or clickable before you proceed. Otherwise, Selenium will not find this element on the browser and it will throw this exception here, which is the no such element exception, which is an exception when Selenium cannot find this element. Last but not least, we have to import the time module because we are going to use the sleep function. Below you will see all the XPaths for all the buttons that we need to click, all the elements that we are going to click and use in this example. I have already found the XPaths here and the class names. It takes a while to find the correct ones, but I have already done it. So let's say for the first time we are going to open a browser, we need to accept all the cookies. And this button can be found here. We can specify the XPath like this, / button area label accept all. Now / means select nodes in the document from the current node that matches the selection no matter where they are. Again, the same for the video links class name. So we are going to get all the links from our main page using this class here. Then we have the consent button that we need to click, but this is not exactly the same path as this one. It has different area labels, so each time we are going to open a new browser for each separate video, we need to click the accept cookies again, right? Because it opens on a guest mode. Selenium opens a new browser again on a guest mode, so you have to click accept cookies again. Then we have the ads button selector. So remember, we said we are going to skip the ads if there is a skip ads button there. And then this is the mute class. This is actually for the button that we are going to use to mute the video. And the replay XPath. So once the video is done playing, we are going to hit the replay button. Now the asterisk here means that matches any element node, right? Let's start with our main function. If name equals _main, then let's first we need to get all the links for all the videos, right? Let's create a function for that, get channel links. Let's define our function here, def get channel list links actually. And here we need to give to the program the homepage, right? The homepage URL, that would be, let's ask for the user to provide the URL. Please provide channel URL. And then we need to create a driver, which is, we can define a driver like that, WebDriver dot Chrome. We are going to use Chrome in our case because I like Chrome, simple as that. Service, come on, service equals service. And then we need to use the Chrome manager, Chrome driver management, and then .install. Now we have the driver, we need to open the home page. We can do that by doing driver.get, and this will open the home page. Selenium will open a browser and point to our home page. Remember, but the first thing that happened is to get a pop-up for the accept cookies. So we need to wait until this form of for the cookies appear. We can do that by doing this. Let's call it consent button equals WebDriver wait. We need to pass the driver instance and the seconds to wait, so that this is an explicit wait. It's going to wait for 10 seconds and then click the element. And that would be until we need the EC module here, the expected conditions dot element to be clickable, open brackets again, because it takes only one argument as input, and that would be by dot xpath, and then we need to provide the path for our consent button xpath homepage. We have defined at the top, right? And then once this is done, we need to click the consent button dot click, and this will click the consent button. So now in theory we are on our web page. We need to retrieve all the links that point to different videos, to all the videos. We can do that by defining, let's say, link list. We can use the driver dot find element command, and we need to define the class name here. We can do that by using by dot class name and then pass the class name here, which is this one. So this will bring find elements. This would bring back a list with all the elements that represent a video, but from those elements we need only the links, right, that point to the video, because we want to open separate browsers for each video. Let me do that. Let me actually print this list so you can see yourself what we are talking about. Hopefully it will play, and this is our homepage. Let me share my screen and see what happens. So as you can see, Selenium is opening a browser and click on accept cookies, and now that we are on our homepage, it's going to retrieve all the links for all those videos. Okay, back to the VS Code. Now we can see a list with all the web elements that each element represents a video. Now from these web elements, we have to get the link that points to the actual video. We can do that by using a for loop and say list for link in link lst if in, I forgot the in here, if link dot get attribute href. If this is not empty, then just put it on a list. So link dot get attribute dot open brackets href. And here we have a list of links that point for each video. If we print that, it will give us a URL for each video. We don't have to print it now, so let's close the driver quit, and then return this list of links, right? Using Selenium, we can open multiple tabs on the same browser. However, when you open multiple tabs and you try playing videos, it stops one video and it only plays one video. So it stops all the other videos and plays only one, but we don't want that. And for this purpose, we are going to use multiprocessing and open separate Chrome browsers for each video. Let's define an empty list for multiprocessing processes, and then for link in links I'm going to get all the first 4 links because otherwise it's going to crash. It cannot handle so many browsers simultaneously. So I think with 4 we are okay. And then then we need to create a process for each video. Target, we need to define a function, let's say run video, and pass arguments. And we are going to pass the link as an argument. Then we have to start the process and add the process in the list so we can join them back together once they are done with the main process. Append p and for p in processes. Once they are done doing their things, this will join them back to the main process. And here we are. Now we have to define the run video function, def run video link. Let's create an instance of a driver again because we closed the previous one. So WebDriver.chrome, and then that would be here service and then Chrome Manager .install driver.get. So we'll open this link, and of course again we have to wait for the accept cookies button. This time let's wait for 30 seconds because usually when you open multiple browsers you have to wait more than just opening one browser, which makes sense. Click on consent button again, so driver dot find element, and that would be by XPath, right? So here we have it, by dot XPath, and this is the XPath for the consent button, and then we need to click this button. The next thing we need to do is click on the skip ads if there is this option. Let's wait for, let's say, 15 seconds and click on the skip ads, and let's create a function. Let's define a function and provide the driver. Let's define our function here, driver. It is a simple try and catch block, nothing new. So we need to add button, skip adds button equals, and driver find element, and we are going to use a selector. So that would be by dot css selector this time. Okay, we paste that. We need to click this button. So dot click, except that no such element exception. If we don't find this skip button, we just, let's say we print no ads button found and then pass. We don't want, you know, to raise an exception or anything like that. If there isn't, there isn't. We continue, and then we have to wait another, let's say, 50 seconds and click the mute button. Actually 10 seconds would be fine, and click the mute button. Click mute button and pass the driver again. Same thing here. Driver try and mute button. This time we are going to use the XPath find element by XPath, right? No, actually I have it as a class, so here we are going to use the class name again. Class name and mute button. We click the button, simple as that, except again the same exception, no such element exception. Print mute button not found and pass. Perfect. Now we have already clicked the mute button in theory. And what's left? The replay button, right? Let's define a function, call it replay, and pass the driver. Sorry. Again, this would be a little bit different because we need to, in order to hit the replay button, we have to wait until the video finishes. So we are going to use an infinite loop, and inside that, so it will while the video is playing, we will be inside an infinite loop, and once the replay button appears, it's going to click it. Driver. Now while true, just for the infinite loop, try and hit the replay button, which is driver find element by .xpath, comma, we need the replay xpath here, comma, and then hit the button, replay button dot click, come on, except now except no such element exception. So if there is no element, most of the time it won't find anything because this is an infinite loop while the video is playing. So until it reaches the end of the video, it will keep getting an error because it won't be able to find this replay button. What are we going to do? Just continue in this infinite loop, or else print replay. So this will be printed only when it will find the replay button. I'm going to show you one nifty trick I found. So the video, let's say an average video is about 30 minutes. How can we increase the speed, right? Increase the playback rate, because we don't want to wait 30 minutes for the video to finish. We want to see the whole video, but in but much faster, right? So we can use JavaScript here. The Selenium provides this option to execute JavaScript. So here we need 6 quotes and then document dot query selector, and that would be video, and then dot playback rate equals 16. So this will increase the playback rate to 16 instead of 1. Let's add this code after, let's say, we replay the video again. Once the video is finished, and then we click on replay, let's hit the same, let's execute the same script again to increase the playback speed, which is it's very nifty. You will see in a bit. Then except exception as E, and then print exception is let's print the exception and pass, because we don't want to raise any exceptions here. I think we are good to go. If everything works correctly, which I doubt it, it's going to run multiple tabs, actually four different browsers for each video, and it's going to, first of all, the first thing it's going to do is click the consent button, then click the skip ads button if it exists, and sleep 10 seconds, then click the mute button, increase the playback speed, and once the video is done, hit the replay button. The moment of truth now. Selenium opened a browser. It is navigating to our homepage. It is retrieving all the links for all the videos we have created. Unfortunately, I cannot open 32 browsers at the same time. I can only open a few. Otherwise, because Selenium uses a lot of resources and my computer cannot handle so many browsers at the same time. As you can see, it opened 4 browsers. Usually I expect one of the browsers to crash, because again, my resources, or sometimes Selenium cannot find an element. But as you can see, the first one is running. Now in this video we expect the mute button to be clicked. Yep, as you can see, we just clicked the unmute button. Selenium just did that, and we expect for the playback rate to increase to 16. As you can see, yep, you can see the video has a it doesn't have the normal playback rate. Although, as you can see here under settings, the playback speed is normal. This is because we used JavaScript to change the playback rate speed instead of using Selenium to click the element. The video is running. If we move the video, let's fast forward the video. Now the video ended and we click on replay again. So it's going to replay the video again and again. This is actually how you increase your watch hours. Let's see what the other browsers are doing. You see this one is working fine, this one is working fine, and one hasn't even started playing the video, because I'm guessing there was an element an element that hadn't been loaded when Selenium was trying to click that element. This is it, guys. This is how you can increase your watch hours of your YouTube channel. Of course, there are limitations. If you open too many browsers, most of them will crash. I tried opening 32 browsers, 20 of them crashed immediately. It really depends on the resources you have. Also, as you witnessed, some of the browsers will delay more than others, causing issues with Selenium, as it won't be able to find the button, which will result to closing that particular browser. It requires more time for fine-tuning the code and handle the exceptions in a productive way. The script is not perfect, but it serves as a good backbone where you can play around with. I hope you found this video very interesting and fun, because that was the goal. Do something different and have fun. If you like the video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.